Alright, this time a cartoon tier list, so we're to show my age with my old cartoons. And some new ones that I'm sure I don't recognize, but we'll go through them real quick. Two Stupid Dogs was exactly that. Stupid, mediocre. 16, I guess, never watched. A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, the OG Scooby-Doo. And a lot of the Scooby-Doos, actually, even new Scooby-Doo, was good. A Pup Named Scooby-Doo was pretty bad. Adventure Time, one of the few newer cartoon shows I like, or liked. S. What's that? No, the Naked Animals one. That was bad. That was dumb. Gumball. Gumball, a lot of people love. I don't love it S tier. I think Gumball's still pretty fucking good though. Gumball's great. Apple and Onion, never heard of. Second, what is this? No, this one too, because I've never heard of either one of them. Atomic Betty, I vaguely remember, but couldn't tell you what it was about anymore. But it was bad. Baby Looney Tunes was bad. Batman Beyond was S tier. Batman Beyond was one of the better Batmans. I mean, every Batman was great, but Batman Beyond like took it above. Ben 10, I know I've watched bits and pieces of all of them, but I never really got into Ben 10, I'll say. So they're just all going to go to bed for me because for me they were bad. This Batman, I don't recognize the style or the drawing, so I'm just going to put it mediocre, but most of the Batman shows were good. Laszlo was bad to me. I didn't like it. Maybe not bad, maybe mediocre. Captain Planet, same deal. Good message, but never really got into it, so mediocre. Chopsaki Chooks, never heard of. Chowder, I fucking hate, is bad. He's bad. I've seen it. I haven't like consistently watched it, but I've seen a few episodes, and it's another one. Never got into it. Clarence was also bad, but not as bad, so mediocre. Never heard of this one. I've seen the movie. I never knew there was an animated cartoon with Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. So if we were going by the movie would be good. But because it's a cartoon, I'll put it down here. Never heard of that one. Kids Next Door, S tier, was a great show. Courage Cowardly Dog, also S tier, great show. Cow and Chicken I watched, but it was very questionable that people should be watching it. I'm sure I found it funny back then, but looking back at it now, it's bad. Craig and the Creek, never watched. Never watched. Superhero Girls, never watched. Dexter's Lab, that's NES. Everyone loved Dexter's Lab. If you didn't watch Dexter's Lab or you didn't like Dexter's Lab, something's wrong with you. The movie How to Train Your Dragons was great. All of them. The show I never actually watched. I didn't know Duck Dodgers had its own show, or his own show, Daffy Duck. But going by the Looney Tunes ones that he was in, I'll say great, just because. Ed, Edd n Eddy, also S tier. Because, back when 25 cents was good for something. And Jawbreakers. Evil Con Carne was bad. It was just blah. Foster's is S as well. Foster's was a great show. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. We'll say the full title for you. Garfield show, never watched. Didn't interest me. Rex, never heard of. George of the Jungle, the TV show. I've heard of it, but never watched it, so I'll say I don't know. Green Lantern, never watched the show in and of itself. Billy and Mandy was somewhere between great and good. I don't know exactly. I wouldn't put it S tier with the rest of them, but it was definitely pretty great. I watched it often enough. German Evil. I feel like I remember this one being good, but I'm not 100% sure, so I may be wrong there. Masters of the Universe was actually slightly before my time. I never watched really a lot of it. But going back, I've watched some of it, and it's, even just for the memes, we'll put it there. That was bad. I've seen a couple of that, but I Am Weasel was part of Cow and Chicken. so we're gonna put that in bad as well. Infinity Rain, never heard of. Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo could be good. It was a good show, but it was very repetitive. One trick pony kind of deal. Johnny Test is good as well. He was an interesting character. Justice League is S tier. Justice League, what's that one? Unlimited. That can be S tier as well. They were both great. Justice League, there was never really any kind of problems with. Like I'm sure there were a few bad episodes here and there that were whatever, but for the most part, it was a really well done show. I don't believe I've ever heard of this one, so I'm going to put it down here. Never watched, but Crypto the Super Dog, that was mediocre. It's Superman's dog, basically. League of Super Evil, never heard of. Never heard of. Super League, never heard of. Never heard of. Looney Tunes is great. The old Looney Tunes are better, but the new one's not terrible. It's pretty great. Mad, I never got into, so I'm just gonna call it bad. That was on when I was young a lot, but never heard of this one. Flapjack is just bad. Watched a few of it. Megas, I know I've seen this show. I recognize the characters, but I don't remember anything about it. To me, that says it was bad. So, never heard of. Never heard of. Never heard of. Never heard of. This was bad. The Wrestlers. My Gym Partners of Maki, that was bad. It was stupid. I don't like it. Ninjago God, excuse me. Never watched. Okay, KO, don't know. Don't know. No, I do know this one. I didn't know that was what it was called. I recognize the show and the characters. That was mediocre. That's alright. Ozzy and Drix, mediocre. Osmosis Jones was a great movie, I thought, but I think this is the OG Powerpuff Girls. The OG Powerpuff Girls are S tier. Newer remake Powerpuff Girls, which is what I think this is. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me. But that was good. So I'm gonna put that in good. Problem Solvers, no idea. Regular show is S tier. Regular show is great. Robot Boy was mediocre. Watched some of it, not all of it. Robotomy, never heard of. Samurai Jack, that is 100% S tier. Samurai Jack is one of the best shows. No particular order, they're just up here. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, I think that was the mediocre Scooby-Doo. It was alright, but it was not as good as the OGs, not as good as, like, What's New Scooby-Doo. Never heard of that one. I recognize these people, but I don't remember anything about it, so. Don't know. 90% of Sonic cartoons have been bad. Space Ghost Coast to Coast was like the kids' stupid talk show with Space Ghost and the Madness Guy and Brack. And it was stupid, but it was good, like, for what it was trying to do. Squirrel Boy, bad. The animated Clone Wars was great. It's an A. The 3D animated Clone Wars was the best. That's an S. Static Shock was okay. He can go under good. Steven Universe, same deal. He's good. It's one of the shows that I didn't really get into, but I recognize it and it's pretty good. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. SWAT Cats was bad. Let's just not talk about it. Don't know what that is. Teen Titans Go, bad. Bad. The OG Teen Titans, S. Teen Titans Go has gotten slightly better when it became self-aware of what it came from. So we'll make it up to mediocre just because they recognize what they've done. But it 90% of it's in bad, so we'll just leave it in bad. Thundercats. The OG Thundercats was S. The remake that failed recently was pretty bad, but that one can be a mess. Don't know what that is. This one I remember, but not a lot of it, so mediocre. Total Drama Island, never got into. I watched a few episodes and they weren't terrible, so we'll say mediocre. Ridiculous Rage, never heard of it. Never heard of it. Totally Spies was good. Didn't drive me crazy, but you know, they were my young teenage brain thought they were hot, so. Don't recognize this Transformers. Most of the Transformers cartoons were pretty bad, but I'll be fair and say don't know. Uncle Grandpa was just bad. That was so dumb. Unikitty, no idea. No idea. No idea. Bear Bears is bad. I couldn't. I've tried watching it. I couldn't get into any of it. It's whatever. No idea what this is. Robot Jones was pretty bad. What's New Scooby-Doo? That can be great. What's New Scooby-Doo? I enjoyed. Like I said, most Scooby-Doos are good. Like Scrappy-Doo or the pup named Scooby-Doo. That kind of stuff. They were missteps, but like What's New Scooby-Doo, the originals, they were all good. Xiaolin Showdown was great. I won't put it in S tier with the rest of them up here. But there wasn't anything wrong with it. It was a pretty good show, all in all. Never heard of Young Justice. Annoying Orange was bad. Area 108. Do I know that one? I don't think I do. Thundercats Roar was bad. Batman the Animated Series. That one's S tier. That one goes with the rest of the Batmans. Or Batman Beyond. Superman show was actually not that good, in my opinion, again. But that's just me. Make it mediocre. Don't know. Don't know. I know that's Yogi Bear, but I'd never heard of Jellystone as a cartoon show. Back up here. Fungus, never heard of. Steven Universe Future, never watched. So. See, nice and quick. I'm sorry I'm not going in depth, but a lot of these I don't remember all that well. And the ones I do are 100% probably like, you know, rose-colored glasses. But that is my little cartoon tier. You can see a lot of the older cartoons I loved, and that's my generation and my day. So I was born in '88, mostly a '90s child. So that's when most of this came out, early 2000s. So yeah, GG's.